had had enough. I had had enough.
Well, you drove out there into the middle of nowhere and had some sort of loud verbal display challenging E.T. in general out in the middle of nowhere?
That's what I was doing. I actually had a pistol in my hand at the time. I was really ticked off. When I was having this fit, I was waving the gun in the air, okay, and I had this fit. And at this moment, I said, okay.
He was a Louisiana man named Montaldo. Folks around called him Six Gun Joe. Worked with ICAR, don't you know? Investigating UFOs. Out for a drive with a gal one night, they stopped to check out the reporting site. When an alien lit right there on the ground, he commenced to throwing his weight around. Now, old Six Gun didn't take too kindly to that kind of thing, especially without Vaseline or anything like that, you know. Seriously. Well, Six Gun looked that critter right in the eye and said, "Any last wish before you die?" Yo, reached for his gun, quick as a twitch, and said, "Fill your claw, you son of a bitch." Now a legend spread across the land about this pistol-waving man. But if you're from space or from Earth below, you don't give no lip to Six Gun Joe.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
Hey, hello everybody. Good evening and welcome to the Sunday night edition of Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. I want to thank you, PRN Talk Radio, 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans. And also, hey, that girl, Joni, good to see you. Heidi. Oh my goodness, they're all in. Easy girl. Easy girl. Oh, wow. So good. Yeah, I know. The Christmas season's over with. Good evening, Sean, from Audrey, Cass, and I. Oh, good evening, ladies. Good evening. Good evening. But, yes. Oh, wow. What a day. What a weekend. What a New Year's. What a everything. I mean, it's been kind of crazy. But you know what? Everything is going to be okay. Why, thank you, Joni. Appreciate that. So you all were wondering why I got my hair cut and my beard shaved off. I'll tell you why. Because it was the end of the Santa season. Yes, it was. And plus, I had to wear a beard guard at work, and I don't like wearing beard guards, you know. But no, it was time. And I figured, what the hell? It was getting too long. So I figured I'd shave it off. But, it's okay. I like the look. You know what I mean? Thank you, Heidi. Thank you, Joni. And I don't know. I'm just happy today. The Steelers are playing the Ravens tonight at 8:20. And everybody who's from Pittsburgh watching the show, thank you for tuning in. And I don't blame you one bit if you want to leave and watch the football game. But I know that I feel like it's going to be a good one tonight. Don't forget, Mr. Don Yazzie and his podcast, Don't Whistle at Night, will be on right after my show. Thank you, Heidi. And so whenever my show is done, feel free to go over there and give him some love. He has an excellent podcast, and it's called Don't Whistle at Night. So, how was everybody's New Year's? Did you make any New Year's resolutions? Any? Hey, Eugene, good to see you, buddy. Random tuning and raining cats and dogs here in Los Angeles. Downtime, kicking back, coffee, some weed. Thank you for the show. You're welcome, Eugenio, and welcome for being here. So, did anybody make any New Year's resolutions out there? I don't know. I didn't. Gary's going to watch the game, but wanted to say hi to my friend Sean. Thank you. Thank you, Gary. Hey, Kevin, good to see you. And I appreciate you stopping in. But I didn't make no resolutions. I don't believe in resolutions. Anybody do any? I think that, it's, I don't know. I'm only speaking for myself. Heidi says, nope, except maybe a little weirder this year. Yeah. Hey, Michelle, good to see you, hon. Thank you for stopping in. But no, I didn't make any. And this is my own personal feeling on it. I think resolutions are just dreams that we have at the beginning of the new year. Honestly, God. Sure, I'm going to lose this weight. Joni says, no New Year's resolutions. They get broken. Of course they get broken. That girl says, I don't do much resolutions other than strive for happiness. And Gary says, love the haircut and beard trim. You look 20 years younger. Why, thank you. Thank you. Well, you be careful, Heidi, when you're out there driving, okay? But I think resolutions, that you make at the quitting smoking and losing weight and all that shit, you might make it one day or 2 days, and then, you're back to doing things. And I tell you what, maybe about 10 years ago, I quit doing them because I never kept up with them. Kevin says, continue to seek truth, be honest, and definitely laugh more, but I have been on that all year. Well, keep on going, brother. But no, I mean, not 10 years ago, I quit doing them because I never stuck to them, and I just think you can, and this is my opinion, I think it's just another tradition that we're supposed to do for holidays, That's what I think it is. Well, this tradition's like really pain in the ass, you know what I mean? Because I went to bed at 10 o'clock on New Year's Eve because I was damn tired, and I slept through all the pot clanging and people screaming, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. And I missed that, and that shit didn't bother me any. Now, y'all might think on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, I'm a type of dude, Scrooge, man. But you know what? No, I'm not. It doesn't Um, it doesn't flatter me, too much. I remember when I was in my 20s, when I was married, I mean, every hotel had a New Year's Eve party going on. You go there, you pay money, including your room for the night, your dinner, your drinks. Okay. And those were like really, really big at the time when I was in my 20s and even in my 30s. And we did it. Me and my ex-wife, we did those things, and they were a lot of fun. But the week of New Year's Eve, like right after Christmas, I was checking all the newspapers out there, and you know what? None of these hotels were doing anything. Nothing. They weren't having no parties. They weren't having any dinners. Maybe couples went down to the casino down in West Virginia, down in Wheeling or the Meadows, down in Washington, PA. But you know what? It's not. It's not what it used to be like. And I know I'm getting old, but you know what? First of all, I want to blame the C word. Did you have your pork and did I have my pork and sauerkraut, Joni? Yes, I did. And great minds think alike, Joni, because I was going to bring that up. I know here in Pittsburgh, what Joni just said, that it is a tradition in Pittsburgh that you have pork and sauerkraut for New Year's Day. And the reason behind that is supposed to give you good luck for the whole year. That was on at Odell's New Year's Eve party. But that's what it is in Pittsburgh. You eat your pork, you eat your sauerkraut, and it's supposed to bring you luck all freaking year long. And I never had any luck. No luck at all. And then it's funny, Joni, that you said that. I did pork and sauerkraut this year, because, yeah, it's true, Michelle. That's what we got. That's what we do here in Pittsburgh. And my mom, she's what, 86 or 87 years old, and she wanted pork and sauerkraut. And so I had some with her, you know. But usually, for the last 10 years besides this year, I actually ate hamburger for New Year's Day. I stayed away from the pork and I stayed away from the sauerkraut because it never gave me any luck. So I figured, why not eat a hamburger? You also got to realize, too, that I am a butcher. I am a meat cutter. And the week right after Christmas is New Year's. And like I told you before, okay, you have to have your pork. And we cut so many damn pieces of pork. And it's just like in your mind that so many pork roasts, so many pork chops, more just like pork. And then I've cut so much pork that hell, I had a hamburger. And you know what's funny? And this is the truth. This is the truth. I had better luck the years that I ate hamburgers than I did my pork. That girl says we had potato pancakes. Okay, potato pancakes are good. But along with the pork and the sauerkraut, I had kibasi, and kibasi's huge here in Pittsburgh. Come around Easter, I'm telling you what, you go to the Orthodox churches, Catholic ones, or anywhere here in Pittsburgh, they make homemade pierogies. I don't know if anybody had homemade pierogies before, but they are to die for. I mean, one pierogi weighs about maybe a quarter pound of pasta, and that's no shit. Seriously, they are huge, and they are so good, So Easter, yes, that's really big. That's really huge around here. Also, nut roll. We have a lot of freaking nut rolls, and it's all homemade too. These churches, my ex-wife, we're still on good speaking terms. And she's my friend. In fact, I keep telling her that we were better off being friends than being married, and that's the truth, and that's okay. But that's for another day. That girl says, yeah, 'cause hamburgers, you tricked the universe. They thought you had pork. Haha, true. It's very possible. But, so my ex-wife comes over with her husband on Christmas Day, and she brings is nut roll, homemade nut roll. Yes, Joni, it's awesome, man. Yeah. Can't you get it out there where you're at, John? Oh, not Pittsburgh nut roll. And then they also make sweetbread. And that's, oh my God, it's great. It's awesome. But that's how my New Year's was. I went to bed at 10 o'clock at night and woke up the next day and had eggs and bacon. Yeah, that was it. And I relaxed, If you can you please do me a favor? My brother had to go back into the hospital again. For some reason, like overnight or 2 nights or 2 days in a row, he gained like 50 pounds of water weight. 50 pounds, no shit, I'm being honest with you. 50 pounds. And it's just all water weight. And so he's been in the hospital for a few days. And what they're doing is draining the fluids from him. And how they're doing that is through Lasix and other kinds of stuff like that. So if you can keep him in your prayers, I would truly appreciate it. Thank you, that girl. Appreciate it. He appreciates it too. You all know my brother. He's been on the show before. He's a good dude, man. So hopefully he gets better and stuff like that. He did have fluid around his heart, but today the doctor came in today and said most of the fluid around the heart is gone. So just say some prayers if you can. So anybody else? So thank you, Eugenia. Pretty good. Thank you very much. I hope everybody else had a good New Year's. If you like to share what your New Year's was like, please do. I like the positive vibes, and that's what I like about my show. There's all the beautiful people in my chat room and all the beautiful people out there in 160 different countries that watch my show. Okay. That watch my show. And it's all positive thoughts, man. And it's great. But so I hope everyone had a nice New Year's. Thank you, Heidi. Hope everyone had a nice New Year's. I hope everybody had a nice New Year's Eve. Thank you, Michelle. And let's see what new 2026 brings us. His name is Patrick, Joni, Patrick Kelly. And thank you. So let's see what 2026 brings us. Hopefully good stuff. I like what Heidi said, a little bit more weirdness. That would be pretty cool, huh? Being weird. But who knows? But listen, here's what I'm going to do. It's at the bottom of the hour. It's 8:29 p.m. I'm going to go on a 2-minute break. Okay, when I come back, we'll get into the dark side of nursery rhymes. So I will see you in 2 hours, 2 minutes. Thanks, Joni. Yeah, it is a nice Italian name. So everybody, do what you got to do. Go smoke a cigarette, go to the bathroom, get something to drink. Come back in 2 minutes, and I'll be here, and we'll be starting all over again. And we'll go up here.
Are you ready to explore the unknown? Dive into the world of the strange, mysterious, and unexplained with Eerie Expeditions magazine. Each issue is packed with spine-tingling tales, cutting-edge paranormal investigations, and exclusive insights into hauntings, cryptids, UFOs, and more. Whether you're a seasoned investigator or just love a good ghost story, Eerie Expeditions magazine has something for you. Join our growing community of truth seekers and adventure lovers. Subscribe today at EerieExpeditionsMagazine.com and unlock the secrets of the supernatural. Are you ready? That's EerieExpeditionsMagazine.com, where the extraordinary is just a click away. Dare to.
Welcome to Paranormal Heart Podcast with host Kat Ward.
Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the second part of Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. I want to thank UPRN Talk Radio, 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans, for allowing me to give you 2 hours a week, Sundays and Tuesday nights from 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. 2026 is going to be a good year for my show. Well, every year is a good year for my show. But you know, if you have any suggestions on what kind of guests you would like to see or any kind of, hey, thank you, Heidi, thank you, Vet. If anybody has any suggestions on what type of shows that they want, you know, just send me a message, you know, and we can talk about it. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Kev. But also, I want to say that if you, your business, or if you know somebody that's looking, you know, to help me out in the sponsorship program here, I would be more than happy to put their ad on my show. And if you know anybody, you know, seriously, you know, tell them to come talk to me, and maybe we can make some arrangements where we can do some advertising for them, you know. And one more thing before we get into the dark side of nursery rhymes. Don't forget Mr. Don Yazzie, Darren and Dawn. They have the podcast, Don't Whistle at Night. And it comes on at 9:10 p.m. right after my show. And we'll say who's the typo demon. Okay, Kevin says that. Oh, hell, the Ravens scored a touchdown. Oh, wow. But on with the show. Okay, so I was like, you know, I saw my show. I didn't make it the last time, and Michelle put on the Dark Side of Disney things, you know, Disney shows. And I'm thinking, okay, so they have the Dark Side of Disney. So I'm thinking, well, I don't know. It's crazy because in my head, right, I come up with different situations, different words. And after I got done watching them, I'm saying, well, why is there any dark side of nursery rhymes? Let me ask you people out there right now before I keep going. Do you believe that nursery rhymes are happy? Or do they mean, hey, Lisa Kirk, good to see you, hon? The donkeys one today. Yeah, but the Ravens, I don't know. I don't even want to talk NFL. They cheat. Not the Ravens, but the NFL. But we'll go from there. But I want to know everybody's opinion. Do you think when you first started to learn nursery rhymes, did you think at all that they would have a dark meaning to them? Because I never did, you know. Oh yeah, the Brothers Grimm is great, you know. But so I said, what the hell? Lisa says nursery rhymes are creepy, especially Ring Around the Rosie. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm going to talk a little bit about that one, Lisa, down the road here a little bit. But so I just typed in the dark side of nursery rhymes, and oh my God, almost every nursery rhyme that I have known that I grew up with, what I used to do when I was young, they're all in here, and they're being dark, and they're bad. So many popular nursery rhymes have surprisingly dark origins, often rooted in historical events like plagues, political persecution, and economic hardships. These seemingly innocent verses were a way for people in largely illiterate societies to remember and pass on stories and social commentary in a coded format. Beckrell says great morals and values of keeping yourself safe and creepy. Not at all, but unfortunately they do have a dark side. And Heidi says, oh my God, almost everyone I found too. Then Andrew Dice Clay did a doozy on some of them too. Oh my God, yeah. That was funny. Anybody, if you want to hear some crazy shit, just go to YouTube and type in Andrew Dice Clay and his nursery rhyme. Pretty bad. But so the meanings behind, popular rhymes. Okay. And here's the first one, Lisa. The Ring Around the Rosie. Does anybody out there have an idea of what Ring Around the Rosie is before you Google it and tell me? That's okay. If you want to Google it, go for it. That's cool. The Ring Around the Rosie. This rhyme is widely believed to be about the bubonic plague, the Black Death. The rosy refers to the red circular rash posies where flowers carried to mask the smell of death, and we all fall down signifies death. However, this theory is disputed by many folklorists who note that the rhyme was not recorded until long after the plagues. Hansel and Gretel. Don't trust old ladies that live in a gingerbread house far into the woods. The plague, yes, Lisa. Yeah. Yeah, I don't go into the old woods either. If I saw a gingerbread house, I'd turn around. Eugenio says, yes, I've always been suspicious about down will come baby cradle and all. The pocket full of posies because they stink. They were masking the death smell. Beckrell says, lay breadcrumbs so you get lost. Only use landmarks, not breadcrumbs, because animals will eat them. You know what? Somebody taught me that by going out there, okay, tie a string, buy a lot of string and tie it to trees. Yeah, seriously. Lisa says, I live in a little house deep in the woods. Oh, well, just saying. That's cool. Is it gingerbread, Lisa? That's the only question. And does it have a big, big oven? And Eugenio says, like the nursery rhymes for illiterate is like the Aboriginal who communicate through melodies and language, not language. Yes. Oh, wow. Kevin, nursery stories, what big teeth you have. No comment. So, yeah, that's kind of crazy. I would never think in a million years that nursery rhymes. I won't say a word. Okay. Okay, Lisa. That's all right. Shh. Lip seal. Hey, what's up, Richie B? Good to see you, sir. The other one, Mary, Mary, quite contrary. Here we go. This is crazy. Mary, Mary, quite contrary. This verse is often interpreted as a political elegy for the Catholic Queen Mary the First of England, known as Bloody Mary, for her brutal persecution of Protestants. The garden is said to represent the graveyards filling with martyrs, and silver bells and cockle shells are believed to be euphemism for torture devices. Oh shit! Is that freaking crazy or what? Huh? I mean, that girl says, Kevin, I travel in the woods in the dark by myself, and I can't even run because I know every rock. That's cool. But no, how about that? So are these secret passwords? Are these secret codes that they spread to everybody? I don't know. Three blind mice. This rhyme is also linked to Queen Mary the First. The three blind mice are thought to represent three Protestant bishops, the Oxford martyrs, who conspired against her and were subsequently burned at the stake. The farmer's wife is Queen Mary herself. Ooh. Eugenia says there's a candies in my town, so I'd be suspicious of these. Yeah, could be. Richie says, sorry, I've been quiet. I do watch in the background bedtime for my little ones. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, brother. You're due for another visit on my show. Good evening, everyone. Hello, Michelle. Happy New Year. Thank you. All right, Richie, we'll be in contact there, pal. Yeah, I'm sorry about how they creep you out, man. That Michelle, sorry about that, dude. Do that. Sir, they are creepy. Never in a million years. Not in a million years, by singing and saying all these damn nursery rhymes, that it's like, wow. And it took me how long? 50 some years to realize this? By just having that thought in my head? Craziness. Ah, here we go. This is a cool one. This will blow you away. Bob Black Sheep. Eugenia says, yeah, jingle bells are associated with torture. Like, what the fuck? That's true. 1, 2, Freddy's going to get you. So, Baba Black Sheep. This seemingly simple rhyme is believed to be a protest against the heavy medieval English wool tax of the 13th century. A third of the wool's value went to the king, master, a third to the church, which was the dame, leaving little for the little boy who lives down the lane. Crazy. Insane. Unbelievable. Unbelievable about that. Jack and Jill. Unbelievable. Jack and Jill. One popular theory suggests this rhyme is about the execution of King Louis XV and his wife Marie Antoinette during the French Revolution. The hill represents the steps to the guillotine, where Jack, Louis XV, lost his crown head first, and Jill, Maria Antoinette, came tumbling after. Huh. It's, oh, yeah. Oh, my Lanta. That's funny, Michelle. Is that crazy about Jack and Jill? All the shit that I'm reading tonight. Seriously, everything I'm reading here tonight. Who would ever thought of this stuff? Heidi says 3-4, better lock your door. Oh, is that all about Freddy? I only watched the one Freddy. I thought it wasn't really crazy. But let me ask you this, people. This next one, before I read it. Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty. And I would like so many innuendo secret codes for sure. Hey, Elisa, good to see you, hon. Happy New Year to you. I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking. I hope you're doing cool. It's so nice to see you, Elisa. It really is. But let me ask you about Humpty Dumpty, everybody. It's okay. You don't have to say 6 p.m. for. Well, I don't know where your tribe's at, hon. I don't know. But Humpty Dumpty, I sing it at work to my coworkers. But this rhyme, Humpty Dumpty, referred to a large, powerful cannon used by a royalist during the English Civil War. The cannon was placed on a church tower wall, which was subsequently destroyed by enemy fire, causing the cannon to have a great fall and be irreparably broken. All the king's horses and all the king's men could not put Humpty Dumpty again, fix him up. Now, what's pretty insane about Humpty Dumpty here, okay, not once in that rhyme no one mentioned that he was an egg. Him being an egg is not mentioned in that rhyme. Isn't that crazy? So instead of using a cannon, they put an egg there. Huh. I'm like, wow. Maybe we can all get together some night. If I get an extra hour and we make up our own nursery rhymes, okay? Yeah. All the king's horses and all the king's men could not put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Rockabye Baby. The origins of this lullaby are speculative, but one theory suggests it's a political lampoon about the son of King James II, whose birth was controversial and led to the Glorious Revolution. Another theory suggests it was inspired by Native American women rocking their babies in birch bark cradles suspended from trees. Kevin says, haha, that is freaky, Sean. Thought of Humpty in the wall. But is that insane, ladies and gentlemen, about it? Let's see here. I got some other stuff here that I looked up. Okay. Okay, now there's a nursery rhyme. It's called Oranges and Lemons. Has anybody ever heard of that before? Oranges and Lemons? It's a nursery rhyme. Okay. The dark meaning of oranges and lemons stems from the final lines suggesting a journey to execution with bells tolling for a condemned person heading to the gallows at Tyburn, involving themes like debt, crime, and public death, rather than just fruit, with the chopper symbolizing beheading. While early versions focused on London church bells and trade later editions introduced gruesome elements like the chopper to chop off your head, linking it to public executions. Henry VIII's wives, or even child sacrifice, make it a chilling tale of London's darker side. Wow. And I was reading other things, I was kind of reading, like back then, the guillotine really never worked. Okay. And so they had to do it 8 or 9 times to cut the head off by the guillotine. Crazy. What's it? Eugenia says Humpty Dumpty was an egg, UFO spaceship, and crashed on Earth. No, he didn't. Kevin says oranges and lemons. I know apples, oranges, peaches, plums, and jumps. Heidi, some skipping, rude, double Dutch rhyme echoing in my brain. Okay. But that's crazy. There are so many other nursery rhymes that actually, have dark meanings. Seriously. And like I said before, growing up and doing Ring Around the Rosie and all the other ones, Humpty Dumpty, hell. And now what it all pertains to, I don't know. I'd like to know where people come up with this kind of stuff too, to be honest with you. I'd like to know the people who come up and maybe, take this certain, nursery rhyme and make it like that. Are these people with dark minds or dark thinking or dark thinking? The only one that I know that really, I can understand was Humpty Dumpty. And I didn't realize it when I read the nursery rhyme and found out that Humpty Dumpty was not an egg, but it was a cannon from Britain. And when I heard all the king's horses and all the king's men could not put Humpty Dumpty back together again. That one seems to be okay, That's not really gruesome as the other ones that we thought of, that we talked about tonight. That girl says, I need to find someone to hold the jump rope so I can double dutch. Joe Fox said, hey, Joe Fox, Jack and Joe went up the hill with 125 each. Joe came down with 250. Most of them did originate across the pond, Heidi. Yes, the majority of them did, from England. I don't know about any American nursery rhymes, but most of them are. But you know what? What I might do, Dinky Dinky Spider went up the spider spout, down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the Kevin. Oh, Kevin, you're feeling good tonight, huh? What's he drinking? Fat girl, did you send over some hardcore coffee over there to Kevin? I was just wondering. He's kind of losing it tonight. But I love Kevin. He's great. He's great. He makes it, he makes it nice up, for everybody. I'm not going to go there, Heidi. Pepsi, okay. But that was it about, the nursery rhymes. How back then they wrote them and kind of like had secret meanings behind them. And I can guarantee it, if I had another show with other people, that they would be blown away about this. It really would be. But you know how the world is today. We're hanging in there. Which ding dong, the witch is gone. Which Which is gone. We have a lot of them in the room. We have a lot of them out there. So who are you talking about, Kevin? Who are you talking about? But no. And that's just a little bit of the nursery rhymes that we got going on today. Um, I was thinking maybe, let me ask you guys a question out there. Do you think maybe this Tuesday coming up, still talk about these and maybe find some more nursery rhymes that are dark? Well, I want to ask everybody that. Do you, and especially in the chat, what do you guys think? Should I do it? Do another show on nursery rhymes, or find something else? And I want your honest opinion too. If you don't want me to, that's okay. That's not a problem. Not a problem at all. So we are getting close to the end of the show. North was Glenda, and west was the fun. Do you know, Heidi, in Wizard of Oz, Glenda, the good witch, was actually the bad witch? Yes, indeed. Bring it on. Okay, I will do that. I will do that. But yeah, I heard that Glenda was the bad one. Kevin says, I love nursery rhymes, something magical about them. And Joe Fox says, I like learning about the nursery rhymes. Okay, I will definitely do that. This Tuesday, we'll have part 2 of nursery rhymes, and I'll come up with them. So that's good to know. I'm going to look forward to that, and I'll find some more crazy stuff. But yeah, it's the end of the night. Heidi says, so many symbolism in Wizard of Oz. Dorothy and I go way back since the 80s. Haha. Okay. I can understand, but it does have a lot of symbolisms in it. And one day, Heidi, I'm going to tell you the story how the movie The Wizard of Oz saved my life. It really did. When I first got sober, it saved my life. My son, when he was young, 3 or 4 years old, he was so cute. He loved The Wizard of Oz. He really did. And we would have to watch it 4 times a day because that's all he wanted to watch was The Wizard of Oz. But what was funny, though, about that, okay, whenever the flying monkeys came on the TV, he'd run into the other room. He would run in whenever the monkey scene was all over with, and he'd come back and watch the end of the movie. But yes, that movie saved my life, and that's for another show that I'd like to talk about. So we got about 2 minutes left. Is anybody out there that has anything they want to say before we close up shop? I thought the monkeys were cool as hell. You know what I mean? I tell you what's fair, it was the little munchkin dudes, man. Mandela better not mess up our rhymes. I want some. 2 ropes winners. But I'm glad everybody enjoyed the show tonight. Especially coming with the way these rhymes are going. Eugenia says, I say whatever topics you bring are good because 50% is the vibe of the host presenting. Yes, keep going with the nursery rhymes. But like I said, thank you very much for that nice compliment, Eugenia. I appreciate that. I truly appreciate it. Thank you, sir. It made me feel good. But yes, we're at the end of the show. Don't forget that Mr. Don Yazzie show, Don't Whistle All Night, will be coming on about 9:10, about 10 minutes from now. Okay. And please go over there and watch him. Who in the hell was that? Cheap viewers, stream boo, what the hell? Get him the fuck out of here. Excuse my language. Who you? But I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. Tuesday we'll do part 2 of nursery rhymes. And children, if you can, please go to your children, go to your parents. Much love to you, Cindy. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. Children, if you can, please go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And parents, please go to your children, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And if you have no parents and if you have no children, find somebody, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. Because those 3 words, I love you, go a long way. And on that note, good night, everybody. We'll see you Tuesday night for part 2 of The Dark Side of Nursery Rhymes. Good night, everybody.